Hopping on us, buenos dias, Barbara here, February the 3rd. We're just entering Taganga, and what we have is a beautiful view after a steep climb on a hillside. I won't go into that. I kind of walked my bike up. Blech. Anyways, say that 10 times fast. We're gonna stop in Taganga to Lucy's campground. And I just wanted to share this clip with you, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Hello and welcome to another Milestone Bicycle Touring Talk episode. This is number 140. I am George Schlacek, and bicycle touring is by far my favorite way of travel. Some of you may have noticed that I've been playing around with the thumbnails for those videos a bit. Last week's episode was about us discovering the village of Taganga near Santa Marta. I think I've changed the thumbnail like 4 times in total. It's all part of me trying to find a more consistent branding for this series that'll make it discoverable here on YouTube. Do you like the current look? You can drop me a comment if you like. Barbara and I had arrived in Taganga. And as you've heard Barbara say in today's intro clip, we were looking for Lucy's campground. There's a bit more about our search in the previous episode. No one we asked knew about this campground. It may have existed at some point, but it was impossible to find when we were there. I think we even checked the exact street that was marked on Google Maps. No Lucy and no campground. But the name Mr. Wilson kept coming up. We were supposed to go to the edge of town where there was a soccer field. Somewhere behind there was supposed to be a señor who was also the local barber who was running a little campground in his yard. By the time we had enough information to go looking for the place, Barbara was already a bit discouraged. It just didn't seem promising. So we agreed to split up.
No.
Well, not split up, kind of like split up, but I was gonna go check out the soccer field and hopefully find this campground while Barbara was relaxing near the beach. If there wasn't a good and secure place to camp, we were gonna check into a budget hotel in the village. Not knowing Taganga at all, going into the direction of the soccer field somehow didn't feel right. There wasn't anything there. Just a couple of streets with local residences and one budget hotel that looked kind of tired. But when I asked there, the clerk actually confirmed the existence of this mysterious campground. Minutes later, I pushed my bike through a ditch following a sign. There was a building and a bell you were supposed to ring for service. A middle-aged man showed up and asked me in Spanish if he could help me. Yes, this was the campground. The price was cheap, something like $5 a night. We could lock our valuables inside the building, and there was access to a little kitchen. It seemed perfect to me. What would Barbara think of the place? I went back to where I had left her, and she was patiently waiting for me, fully expecting that the campground wouldn't be suitable for us and we were gonna have to stay in one of the hotels. When I described the place to her, however, she seemed curious enough and we decided to give it a whirl. She was of course very skeptical when I had to push first mine, then her bike across that ditch. Then she saw the place and immediately liked it. There were several camping spots available. The ground was like clay, pretty dry, but there were plants all over the terrain. There was a community area with hammocks and outdoor furniture for the guests to hang out. We picked a tent spot on the hillside, paid for 2 nights, and set up camp. The rest of the day and the following day, and as well as the day after, were true rest days.
So where are you fishies. So many fishies. So many fishies.
We were finally enjoying our time at the beach, swimming in the ocean, walking all over town, eating at all the good local fish places, and just falling in love with Taganga. This is definitely a tourist destination, but at the same time, it's down to earth. You'll meet people from all over the world in Taganga, along with local fishermen who make a good living here. Who knows how long this place will retain its simple, rustique ambience before tourism will grow to the point where the big fancy hotels pop up all over. The last thing Taganga needs is an all-inclusive resort, but even as I'm recording this video, someone, somewhere is probably coming up with a plan for just such a thing. We spent 2 nights at Mr. Wilson's, who was an excellent host. Mr. Wilson is just the name he picked for his business in order to attract international tourists just like us. We have no idea what his real name is. When we left the campground, we checked into a hostel closer to the beach for another 2 nights. On our last night, we met a fellow Canadian who was running his own restaurant in Taganga. He introduced us to salchipapa, a local specialty that combines Colombian sausage, French fries, and salad with mayonnaise and hot sauce to taste. All on one plate. It was great stuff, definitely high in energy, also known as calories. We were planning our departure for early morning on February 7th. The plan was to go to the local bus depot and catch a bus all the way back to Agua Chica. That would allow us to avoid cycling the worst highway sections with its narrow shoulders. We had no firm plans after that, but knew that we would probably have to take another bus at some point. The idea was to work our way back to Bogota, little by little, and perhaps take a bus for the last stretch with the most hills. But we were also toying with the idea of visiting the city of Medellin, formerly the stomping grounds of Pablo Escobar. Would time allow for that? Our return flight to Canada was already booked for February 21st. We were also booked into our room at C&S Bogota. Remember that one from the first episode in this series? However, as it would turn out, we still had a lot of cycling ahead of us, and I'll tell you all about it in the next episode. Before you go, well, don't go. Click the like button and check out some of my other content. Have you seen all the videos in this series? Colombia is awesome, but a little scary at the same time. At times.